Hello everybody. Hello. Welcome. Welcome guys to another stream. Welcome. Today we're gonna start with chapter 3 and chapter 4. I haven't talked the whole day, so it will be a bit tough for me to read, but let's do this. Anyway, I have this bawang chaji, this milk tea that I like to drink. If you all like to drink milk tea, I think this is the one to go. I usually had the white peach oolong or green tea. I really like them. So yeah. Today will be the 7 key steps of story structure. I got some feedback that my book read is sort of like a good session for people to just to go to sleep. So me reading is just helping you guys to sleep better at night. So I can say that Gentleman actually helps you to sleep better at night. Serenade you with my words and with my voice, just serenading you like music, like melodies in the night, just giving you some sweet serenity in the night with my book read. But yeah, I think let's start. Well, I finish this drink first. Gotta cleanse my palate. Gotta give some wetness to the mouth so that I can read. Okay, I got a bottle of water, so it's fine. But milk tea just gives you that extra flavor, extra texture to your mouth, to your tongue. That it gives you certain feeling that it helps in reading, I feel, maybe. What am I saying? Sorry, today's live stream is a bit late. It's at 10 p.m. Australian time is like 12 already. Most people are like almost sleeping already. And if you all are watching, any other time, then you're fine. Maybe you're just watching. Yeah, I don't know who's watching actually. But I see like there's almost like maybe 40, in a range of 20 to 40 or 20 to 60 overviews. So maybe out of that 20 to 60, maybe like, I don't know, on average maybe 20 people who views my videos. That's quite good, right? 4 months into making videos, having people to actually watch your live stream, it's kind of cool. 20 people, that's like a classroom already. Maybe like 30 or something like that, It's like a classroom. It's like a tuition. It's like a tuition class. Hey, hello, hey, bro, you going for the gentleman tuition class ah? Hey, tonight ah? Hi, mom. Yeah, gentleman tuition class. Okay, settle down, class. Today Jen is gonna Today I'm gonna teach you on 7 key steps of story structure. All right. Have you gotten your books already? Settle down, everyone. Settle down. Okay, keep quiet. Okay lah, not keep quiet lah, but pay attention. Okay. Today, so last week we talked about chapter 2, just giving an introduction to the materials. This year we have been exploring on how to write story. So I think in your exam coming out later in the year, it's very important for you to understand. So this upcoming exam, I think it's the second quarter one. So it's going to come out in like May or June. We're going to test you on chapter 1 to chapter 4. So chapter 1 and chapter 2, I've already given my notes to you guys if you want to really take note of. If you have any questions, after the class, you can always reach out to me, or just text me if you have anything that you want to talk about. I'm happy to maybe set up a Zoom calls for everyone, just to answer some questions if you have any for your upcoming exam. But yeah, so today we're starting on chapter 3 and chapter 4. So I'm not sure whether have you all managed to read through it, but it will be great if you have sort of have an understanding of how on the readings that I've asked you guys to go home and read. So I don't know who else have read. I don't know whether you have done your homework or not, but today I'm gonna start off with chapter 3, and then hopefully we'll do chapter 4 today. Yeah, okay. I'm like gentleman tuition teacher. All right, let's get into it. The 7 key steps of story structure. The Godfather is a long, complex novel and film. Tootsie is a highly choreographed world of unrequited love, mistaken in identity, and farcical missteps. What does that mean? Class, do you know what that means? Don't know? I'll move on. Chinatown is a tricky unfolding of surprises and revelations. These very different stories are all successful because of the unbreakable, organic chain of 7 key structure steps deep under each story's surface. So now it's the 7 key steps of story structure. Okay? Can y'all see? The 7 key steps of story structure. So, when we talk about the structure of a story, we talk about how a story develops over time. For example, all living things appear to grow in one continuous flow. But if we look closely, we can see certain steps or stages in that growth. The same is true of story. A story has a minimum of 7 steps in its growth from beginning to end. Okay? The first one is weakness and need. Second is desire. Third is opponent. Fourth is plan. And the fifth is battle. Another 2 more. 6, self-revelation. 7, new equilibrium. Alright. Okay. So, last week I was talking to you guys about this badminton story that we sort of, as a class we came up with. So we're going to continue on that story itself, just to work on a sample story that we can maybe use that as a way to learn how to create a story, how to write a story. So the 7 steps are not arbitrarily imposed from without the way a mechanical story structure such as a 3-act structure is. They exist in the story. These 7 steps are the nucleus. Have you all know what's chemistry, and chemistry, there is a talk of cells, and cells, there are the nucleus, there are the DNA, and there are some other different things. Okay, so the 7 steps are the nucleus, the DNA of your story, and the foundation of your success as a storyteller, because they are based on human action. Human action. These are the steps that any human being must work through to solve a life problem. Have you guys ever have a life problem? Now, how do you solve it? Well, you solve it through the 7 steps. Okay? And because the 7 steps are so organic, implied in your premise line, they must link properly for a story to have the greatest impact on your audience. Let's look at what each of these steps mean and how are they linked one to another below that surface, and how they actually work in stories. Okay, so let's talk about weakness and need. Okay, weakness and need. From the very beginning of your story, your hero has one or great weaknesses that are holding him back. So when we're talking about the badminton story, right? Okay, actually I find that I just came up with that story, and I find that story is like really interesting, and you know, something that is actually a good story. But from the very beginning of the story, your hero has one or great weaknesses that are holding him back. So the weakness here, it could be that because he lost his you know, the person that he trained so hard for, and yeah, something is missing within him that is so profound. It is ruining his life. I'm going to assume that the main character is male, simply because it's easier for me to write that way. The need is what the hero must fulfill within himself in order to have a better life. It usually involves overcoming his weaknesses and changing or growing in some way. So in this sense, for me, to write that story of the badminton, the coach, right? He has to overcome his weakness and change and grow. So the growth is when he found that, okay, he lost his mojo, he lost his direction, he lost his confidence, I feel, maybe, or he lost the motive, because he trains someone so hard, and then sadly just passed away. So he just has nothing else to really give to badminton until he met this guy. It's quite a simple story, right? That you sort of seen it before. So I think it's some way, some shape or form is that way lah. Okay, so for Tootsie, weaknesses, Michael is arrogant, selfish, and a liar. The need, Michael has to overcome his arrogance towards women and to stop lying and using women to get what he wants. The Silence of the Lamb, I don't really know these movies, I haven't watched it yet, but the weaknesses is that Clarice is inexperienced, suffering from haunting childhood memories, and a woman in a man's world. Clarice must overcome the ghosts of her past to gain respect as a professional in a man's world. So that's the need. I can't emphasize enough how important the need is to your success. Need is the wellspring of the story and sets up every other step. So keep 2 critical points in mind when you create your hero's need. Okay, the key point is your hero should not be aware of his need at the beginning of the story. So for him, the coach, he doesn't realize that this is his, he shouldn't realize that he actually needs this person. So I think I can get the similar story line from Cobra Kai, something that I watched recently, right? So this he just lost it because he was the loser in the competition, and then he saw his the opponent, has such a successful life, and he didn't really need to open up his mojo again, his dojo again. So yeah, I think it's something similar lah. Okay, so if he is already cognizant of what he needs, the story is over. So that means if he already knows what he wants, what he needs, the story is over. Okay, the hero should always become aware of his need at the self-revelation, near the end of the story, only after having gone through a great deal of pain in a drama or struggle in a comedy. So for this sense is that he has to go through the pain of his demons in the past, his demons in the past and struggles, something like that. Okay, so key point is give your hero a moral need as well as a psychological need. In average stories, the hero has a psychological need. A psychological need involves overcoming a serious flaw that is hurting nobody but the hero. In better stories, the hero has a moral need in addition to a psychological need. The hero must overcome a moral flaw and learn how to act properly towards other people. A character with a moral need is always hurting others in some way. His moral weakness at the beginning of the story. So I guess in this sense, the moral need is that he doesn't believe in training people anymore already. It's like, why do you need to go, because there's not much talent or something like that, or he feels like there's no need because at the end of the day everybody's just gonna die. So it's a very morbid feeling, very negative sort of thing. Okay, so the verdict: Frank's psychological need. Oh, okay. The verdict is another movie reference, I think. So Frank's psychological need is to beat his drinking problem and regain his self-respect. His moral need is to stop using other people for money and learn to act with justice. We all know that Frank has a moral need when we see him lie his way into a funeral of strangers in order to get business. He doesn't care if he upsets the family. He just wants to make money off of them. One reason it's so important to give your hero a moral as well as a psychological need is that it increases the scope of the character. The character's action affects others beside him, so this moves the audience in a more powerful way. So when the character doesn't just hurts the person, but he hurts around them, you feel it too as an audience. So the other reason you want to give your hero a moral need is that it prevents him from being a perfect and also being a victim. Both of these are the kiss of death in storytelling. A perfect character doesn't seem real or believable. A perfect character, I feel like the perfect character is something like Rey in Star Wars. I feel, like cannot get hurt one. Anything also can just like solve one. So I think something like that. That's why like Force Awakens was a good movie, but after that Rey became like so powerful that you just don't really identify with her anymore. So when a character has no moral flaws, the opponent who does typically dominates the hero, and the story becomes reactive and predictable. Also present from page 1 of your story, but much less important than weakness and need is the problem. Also present. Also present from the page. So if it's in the page 1 of your story, but much less important than weakness and need is the problem. All good stories begin with a kick. The hero is already in trouble. The problem is the crisis the hero finds himself in from page 1. He is very aware of the crisis but doesn't know how to solve it. I don't know, but I feel like everything in life, it feels like a problem and a solution. Even business, even storytelling, even I don't know. Is this like the way how things work? Like you have a problem, you have a solution. Is that how humans are meant to think? Like problem solution. There is no other way of thinking other than solving a problem. Like I don't know. Something to think, right? So the problem is not one of the 7 steps, but it's an aspect of weakness and need, and is very valuable. Crisis defines a character very quickly. It should be an outside manifestation of the hero's weakness. The crisis highlights that weakness for the audience and gives the story a fast start. Key point: keep the problem simple and specific. Okay? Like something like Sunset Boulevard, the movie. Weakness is Joe has a fondness for money and the finer things in life. He's willing to sacrifice his artistic and moral integrity for his personal comfort. The problem? Joe is broke. A couple of guys from the finance company come to his apartment to repossess his car. He makes a run for it. And something like Tootsie, the weaknesses is that Michael is arrogant, selfish, and a liar. And the problem is Michael is an excellent actor, but he's so overbearing that no one will hire him. So he's desperate. So for this this story that we're running, I think the weakness is that the coach is being, I guess, very negative, very negative, just have a very morbid thinking of life. The problem is that he doesn't want to coach anymore, which makes him not able to get money and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe the coach is also like trying to make ends meet, doing something else that's not really part of his what he really wants. Yeah. So 7 steps technique, creating the moral need. Writers often think 7 steps technique. Okay, so creating the moral need. Okay, so just now when we talk about the 7 one, right, weakness and need, it was still in the same thing, weakness and need. So when we need to create the moral need, right, for a better story, writers often think that they have to give their hero a moral need when it's just psychological. So remember the simple rule of thumb: to have a moral need, the character must be hurting at least one other person at the beginning of the story. 2 good ways to come up with the right moral need for your hero are to connect it to the psychological need and turn a strength into weakness. In good stories, the moral need usually comes out of the psychological need. The character has a psychological weakness that leads him to take it out to others. To give your character a moral as well as psychological need, and to make it the right one for your character, begin with psychological weakness. Figure out what kind of immoral action might naturally come out of that. Identify the deep-seated moral weakness and need that are the source of this action. A second technique for creating a good moral need is to push a strength so far that it becomes a weakness. The technique works like this: identify a virtue in your character, then make him so passionate about it that it becomes oppressive. Come up with a value that the character believes in, then find the negative version of that value. So something like Batman, right? Batman is someone who is very he doesn't like to his moral need is that he doesn't kill. But if you have a Joker, a villain that is wanting you to kill someone, the strength becomes the weakness lah. Something like that. So I need to write this down. I think this is interesting. So what did I write? I don't even know what I write. But I guess the 7 key steps of story structure. I think story structure is a good way to start knowing how to like really structure your story lah. Okay. So weakness and need. You need to have not just a moral but psychological need, okay? Weakness, problem and solution. Hold on, let me write out. You know, my writing has like became so bad because I haven't been writing a lot. I need to start writing more, then improve on my writing. It's like, oh my god, when I see my writing now and the writing that I've been written when I write a lot, it's like so different. Okay. Next is desire. Okay, the second part of the seventh key structure. Okay, desire. Once the weakness and need have been decided, you must give the hero a desire. Desire is what your hero wants in the story, his particular goal. A story doesn't become interesting to the audience until the desire comes into play. Think of the desire as the story track that the audience rides along. So think of a track that the audience is riding along. Okay, everybody gets on the train with the hero and they all go after the goal together. Desire is the driving force in the story, the line from which everything else hangs. Desire is intimately connected to the need. In most stories, when the hero accomplishes his goal, he also fulfills his need. Let's look at some simple example from nature. Okay, a lion is hungry and needs food, a physical need. He sees a herd of antelope go by and spots a young one that he wants, a desire. If he can catch that little antelope, he won't be hungry anymore. End of story. So one of the biggest mistakes a writer can make is to confuse the need and desire, or to think of them as a single step. There are in fact two unique story steps that form the beginning of your story. So you have to be clear about the function of each. Need has to do with overcoming a weakness within the character. A hero with a need is always paralyzed in some way at the beginning of the story by his weakness. Desire is a goal outside of the character. Once the hero comes up with his desire, he's moving in a particular direction and taking actions to reach his goal. Need and desire also have different functions in relation to the audience. Need lets the audience see how the hero must change to have a better life. It is the key to the whole story, but it remains hidden under the surface. Desire gives the audience something to want along with the hero, something they can all be moving towards through the various twists and turns and even digressions of the story. Desire is on the surface and is what the audience thinks the story is about. This can be shown schematically as follows. Okay, how to show? Okay, this is desire, this is the surface, and this is the need. Self-revelation, the need. So let's look at some of the story's examples to see crucial difference between need and desire. Saving Private Ryan, the need. Hero John Miller must do his duty in spite of his fear, psychological and moral. Desire, he wants to find Private Ryan and bring him back alive. The Full Monty, the need. Each of the men in the group needs to regain his self-respect, psychological. Desire, they want to make a lot of money by performing naked in front of a room full of women. The Verdict, need. The hero must regain his self-respect, psychological, and learn to act with justice towards others, moral. Desire, all is, as in all courtroom drama, he wants to win the case. Okay. Chinatown, Jake must overcome his cocky arrogance and learn to trust others, psychological. He also has to stop using people for money and bring a murderer to justice because it is the right thing to do, moral. All detective stories, Jake desires to solve a mystery, in this case to find out who killed Hollis and why. Key point, so your hero true desire is what he wants in the story, not what he wants in life. Okay. So if for the coach, his desire is to train this guy this new guy. His need is to become like a coach or something like that, to become a coach again, or he's to accept to train someone again, to be a coach. Okay. For example, the hero in Saving Private Ryan wants to stop fighting, go home and be with his family. But that isn't what tracks this particular story. His goal in this story is requiring him to take a series of very specific action, is to bring back Private Ryan. So he brings back, the goal is to bring back Private Ryan so that he is able to stop fighting, go home and be with his family. So that's the whole idea of desire and need. So starting with desire, writers who know that the story doesn't galvanize the audience until the hero desire kicks in sometimes gets a little too smart for their own good. They think, I'll just skip the weakness and need step and start with desire. They'll just make a pact with the devil. Opening with desire does give your story a quick start, but it also kills the payoff, the ending of the story. Weakness and need are the foundation of any story. They are what makes it possible for your hero to change at the end. They are what makes the story personal and meaningful. And they are what makes the audience care. Don't skip that first step ever. Don't skip that first step ever. Okay? Weakness and need, very important. So if you want to get out of this from this live stream, what you need to get is that you have to find out what's your weakness and need of your hero. Then only start with desire. Okay? Desire, bro. What do you desire? Wait, no. What is your weakness and need first? What do you want the hero to go through? What is his need in life? What is his weaknesses? Ayo. Yawning already. How? How are you guys feeling? We gotta go through 7 of this. Now we're at the 3rd one. Very fast one lah. Very fast we'll finish already, chapter 3. Then very fast chapter 4 already. I'm now half an hour only. What the heck? But character, the next chapter very long though. Ada berapa pages ni? Ada 100 dari 50 ke? 50 pages lah bro. 50 pages bro. What the hell bro? This chapter you know how many pages 40 to 56, you know. That's like 2 times, you know. Hey brother, can like that? Why am I wasting time Tired lah bro. Just read a few pages also tired already How can like that bro? Can bro? So, class, do you want to take a break? No? Okay, let's continue, okay? Let's go with opponents, okay? Have you all written down what is important for this class today? Okay, so start with opponent, okay? Everybody okay, awake, You have some sweets or not, Take something to eat lah. Okay, today going to be a long day, okay? We're gonna do it for like 2 hours, okay? Okay. Are you guys sleeping already? Are you guys okay? Doing okay? Are you guys like thinking what should I be doing? Like, is this okay? Okay, I shouldn't be procrastinating and just continue with the book, right? It's like just a mini break lah, you know. After reading, you know, so much, you gotta just take a break, you know. I don't know. I haven't been reading, so it's okay. Anyway, opponent. Writers often mistakenly think of the opponent, also known as the antagonist, as the character who looks evil, sounds evil, or does evil things. This way of looking at the opponent will prevent you from ever writing a good story. Prevent you from ever writing a good story, you know. If you think like this character always looks evil, sounds evil, and does evil things, cannot. Instead, you must see the opponent structurally, okay, in terms of his function of the story. A true opponent not only wants to prevent the hero from achieving his desire, but is competing with the hero for the same goal. Notice that this way of defining your opponents organically links this step to your hero's desire. It is only by competing for the same goal that the hero and the opponent are forced to come into direct conflict, and to do so again and again throughout the story. So the antagonist for this story of this coach and badminton thing, right? Maybe you have this another person who has the same thing, where maybe it's like his brother or another person in the same place that he trains, wants to achieve the same goal, but he's stopping that person. I don't know, haven't really think of it. If you give your hero and opponent two separate goals, each one can get what he wants without coming into a direct conflict, and then you have no story at all. If you look at a number of good stories, it often appears at first glance the hero and opponent are not competing for the same goal. But look again, see if you can spot what they are really fighting about. For example, in a detective story, it appears that the hero wants to catch the killer and the opponent wants to get away, but they are really fighting over which version of reality everyone believes. The trick to creating an opponent who wants the same goal as the hero is to find the deepest level of conflict between them. Ask yourself, what is the most important thing they are fighting about? That must be the focus of your story. Okay, so the key point is to find the right opponent, start with the hero's specific goal, whoever wants to keep him from getting it as an opponent. There you go. Opponent, what is the most important thing that they are fighting about? Note that writers often talk about having a hero whose opponent is himself. This is a mistake that would cause all kinds of structural problems. When we talk about a hero fighting himself, we are really referring to the weakness within the hero. Let's look at some of the opponents. Okay, the Godfather. Michael's first opponent is Zolonzo. However, his main opponent is the more powerful Barzini, who is the hidden power behind Zolonzo and wants to bring the entire Corleone family down. Corleone, huh? Michael and the Barzini compete over the survival of the Corleone family and who will control crime in New York. Star Wars. Okay, this one you know, okay? So, Luke's opponent is the ruthless Darth Vader, and each is competing over who will control the universe. Vader represents the evil forces of the tyrannical empire, and Luke represents the forces of good, comprised of the Jedi Knights and the Democratic Republic. Chinatown. Like any other good story, detective story, Chinatown gives us a unique, tricky opponent who remains hidden until the very end of the story. Jake's opponent turns out to be the rich and powerful Noah Cross. Cross wants to control the future of Los Angeles with his water scheme, but he is not competing with Jake about that. Because Chinatown is a detective story, he and Jake are actually competing over whose version of truth will be believed. Cross wants everyone to believe that Hollis drowned accidentally and that Evelyn's daughter is his granddaughter. Jack wants everyone to believe that Cross killed Holly and raped his own daughter. Ooh. Actually, I want to watch Chinatown. I heard a lot of good things about Chinatown, and I also want to watch The Godfather. I haven't really watched all these old movies, and I find like these are movies that everyone like talking like, hey, you know, these old movies are actually like really, really good movies, but I don't know whether do they still hold up or not. That's the thing. So I feel like I need to like watch all these old movies and just like give a review about it. You know? Right, so that's an opponent already. So you have the weakness and the need, and then you have the desire, and then you have the opponent. Okay, don't say I never tell you. Alright, the next one is plan. Action is not possible without some plan. Do I look like a guy with a plan? Gordon has his plans. Schemers. They're trying to control their little world. Like Joker. Anyway, action is not possible without some plan in life and in storytelling. Ho. Talking about you, bro. Action not possible without some plan. So always plan your stuff. Plan your life. In storytelling, also the same. The plan is the set of guidelines or strategies, like what Grace say. Strategies. Life is strategy. The hero will use to overcome the opponent and reach the goal. Again, notice that the plan is organically linked to both the desire and the opponent. The plan should always be specifically focused towards defeating the opponent and reaching the goal. Okay? A hero may have a vague plan, or in certain genre stories like the Caper or the war story, the plan is so complex that the character may write it out so that the audience can see it. Gotta have a plan, bro. So, Chinatown. Jake's plan is to question those who knew Hollis and track the physical evidence connected to Hollis' murder. Hamlet's plan is to put on a play that mimics the murder of his father by the current king. He will then prove the king's guilt by the king's reaction to the play. Hamlet. The Godfather. Michael's first plan is to kill Solozzo and his protector, the police captain. His second plan, near the end of the story, is to kill the heads of the other families in a single strike. So, have your plan. Hey bro, what's your plan? Wanna go mamak or not today? I don't know what's Mandarin. What's plan in Mandarin? Hey bro, 你有什么 plan 你要去哪里你要做什么Okay, battle. Throughout the middle of the story, the hero and the opponent engage in a punch-counter-punch confrontation as each tries to win the goal. The conflict heats up. The battle is the final conflict between the hero and the opponent and determines which of the two characters with the goal. The final battle may be a conflict of violence or a conflict of words. The battle, okay? The end game. The final shot, the final countdown. Throughout the middle, okay. Now that's the battle already. So you have a plan, and that's the battle. 5 battle. Right. Next is the self-revelation. The battle is an intense and painful experience for the hero. This crucible of battle causes the hero to have major revelations about who he really is. Much of the quality of your story is based on the quality of this self-revelation. For a good self-revelation, you must first be aware that this step, like Neet, comes in two forms, psychological and moral. In a psychological self-revelation, okay, self-revelation is like you reveal something about yourself self-revelation. Okay, in a psychological self-revelation, the hero strips away the facade he has left behind and sees himself honestly for the first time. Damn. Okay, so talking about the whole badminton story, right? So we have what Neet, the weaknesses, the desire, the opponent. The opponent, okay, let's say the opponent there's another guy that he refused to train and train under another coach, and then the coach trained that person, and then it's a wrong way of training or something. I don't know, something very similar to Cobra Kai. And anyway, Gai Wak, plan Gai Wak. Never mind. Anyway, opponent. So the opponent can be the so let's say okay, like this coach, right? He has another student that he refused because he believes that he cannot train anybody else. So that person went to another coach to train under that person. But all his playing skills and all his footsteps are all wrong. But managed to play lah, or maybe it's not. Maybe it's like a good version, but it's just different way of teaching. Like the coach teach like, oh, this just be yourself lah, you can a bit more arrogant lah in his way of teaching or something like that, so the plan is to, like, this coach teaching this new guy like how you should actually train, train a bit more like humble, but there is a plan lah. There's a plan to have like a plan to, like, how to defeat that person. So the battle is like the final match or something like that. They go through a competition lah. So self-revelation is say for example you lost the match, and oh no, maybe it's not that you lost the match, you win the match, and you figure out that, hey, I can train the person, that person is able to be trained, and I'm able to be happy because I train this person, and I can still be able to have like a son that I've trained, something like that. Okay, I've been going a long win on the badminton story, but okay. But basically that's how lah, self-revelation lah, okay? So this stripping away of the facade is like the shadow of oneself lah, okay? It's not passive or easy. Rather, it is the most active, the most difficult, and the most courageous act the hero performs in the entire story. So don't have your hero come right out and say what he learned. Okay, this is obvious and preachy and will turn off your audience. So don't say anything, just show. Instead, you want to suggest your hero's insight by the action he takes leading up to the self-revelation. So you learn through the things that he takes, like the process that he went through in the battle or something like that, right? So for Big, these are examples, okay? Big just realized that he has to leave his girlfriend and life at a toy company and go back to being a kid if he's to have a good and loving life as an adult. Casablanca, Rick sheds his cynicism, regain his idealism, and sacrifice his love for Ilsa so he can become a freedom fighter. Chinatown, Jake's self-revelation is a negative one. After Evelyn's death, he mumbles as little as possible. He seems to believe that his life is not only useless but also destructive. Once again, he has to hurt someone he loves. Dances with the Wolf, Dunbar finds a new reason to live and a new way of being a man because of his new wife and his extended Lakota Sykes family. Ironically, the Lakota way of life is almost at the end. So Dunbar's self-revelation is both positive and negative. Okay, I don't understand why he say that, but okay. Because I don't really know the story. If you have given your hero a moral need, his self-revelation should be a moral one as well. So the hero doesn't just see himself in a new light, he has an insight about the proper way to act towards another. In effect, the hero realizes that he has been wrong and that he has hurt others and that he must change. He then proves that he has changed by taking a new moral action. Okay, so Tootsie, example, Michael realizes what it means to be a man. I was a better man with you as a woman than I ever was with a woman as a man. I just gotta learn to do it without the dress. And he apologizes for hurting the woman he loves. Notice that even though the hero comes right out and says what he learns, he says it in a such clever and funny way that is avoid sermonizing. So like Princess Diary lah. I think Princess Diary is a good example. Princess Diary is like she realizes that being a princess has responsibilities, that she has to rise up to become a princess, to show as an example to others and say like, as a princess I have to be a bit more mature, and and it's affecting the people around her as well, so she needs to really step up and be the princess that everyone wants her to be, which is to make a change lah in the land of Genova or something like that. So structurally, the step with self-revelation is most closely connected is Neet. So it's the same thing as Neet lah, okay? So these two steps communicate the character change of your hero. We'll explore this in more detail in the next chapter. Neet is the beginning of the hero's character change. Self-revelation is the end point of that change. Neet is the beginning of the hero's character change. Self-revelation is the end point of that change. So Neet is the mark of the hero's immaturity at the beginning of the story. It is what he is missing, what is holding him back. Self-revelation is the moment when the hero grows a human being. Self-revelation is the moment when the hero grows as a human being. Okay, unless the knowledge is so painful, unless the knowledge is so painful that it destroys him lah. So that's like a different. That's another like whole new different aspect of the story lah. Like he learns like Breaking Bad lah, something like that, right? Where he learns that his family no longer loves him anymore. They like rejects him because he's becoming a criminal. So yeah. So it is what he learns, what he gains, what allows him to live a better life in the future. He learns that he's able to have another son. I'm talking about the Badminton Story lah, right? He's able to learn that I'm able to have another son. Gains is that another son. What allows him to live a better life? Knowing that I am still able to teach, able to coach people, and I'm still able to love again, or to train someone lah. So that's basically it lah. So you have the battle, you have the self-revelation. Self-revelation. The last one is new equilibrium. What is equilibrium? Equilibrium is like when you have to balance something, you have to balance it lah. So at the balance of things, right? New equilibrium, so a new balance lah. So at the new equilibrium, everything returns to normal and all desire is gone, except there is now one major difference, is that the hero has moved to a higher or lower level as a result of going through his things lah. Okay, a fundamental and permanent change has occurred in the hero. If the self-revelation is positive, the hero realized that who he truly is and learn how to live properly in the world. He moves to a higher level. If the hero has a negative revelation, learning he has committed a terrible crime that expressed a corrupt personal flaw and is incapable of having a self-revelation, the hero falls or is destroyed. I think mainly all the negative ones, right? I feel like it's like the Black Mirror stories. I feel like those are more towards this. Or say for example, maybe some that doesn't really have a good ending. Not really say good ending meaning bad ending. It's more like not a good ending for the character lah. Yeah. So those are some of the things that is like if the hero falls or is destroyed lah. Okay. So let's look at some examples in which the hero rises. Die Hard. John has defeated the criminals, saved his wife, and reaffirmed their love. Pretty Woman. Vivian has left the world of prostitution behind and is with the man she loves, who unfortunately is a billionaire. The following document the falls of a hero. I don't know which one you know. But basically, in the Oedipus the King, Oedipus gouges out his eyes upon learning that he has killed his father and slept with his mother. The conversation. The hero discovers he has contributed to someone's murder and ends up a shell-shocked man desperately tearing up his apartment to find a listening device. Vertigo. The hero drags the woman he loves to the top of the tower to get her to confess to a murder, and then looks down in horror when the woman, overcome by guilt, accidentally falls to her death. All these kind of movies, right? Those are very like, those are like things that you feel like, oh, reading these kind of things just gives you a lot of stress. Okay, so how to use these 7 steps? Writing exercise. Class. Now we need to have. Now it come to the exercise. Okay. So you've seen what the 7 major steps of story structure mean. I told you already. This is the board. I've already written down all the steps now. Okay. So you've seen. So here's how you can use them. Okay. Story events. Write down some story events, describing each in a single sentence. The 7 steps are not imposed from the outside. They are embedded in the story idea itself. That's why the first thing you need to do is to figure out the 7 step, is to list out some of the events that might be in your story. Usually when you get an idea for a story, certain events immediately pop into your mind. Pop into your mind. This could happen, and this could happen, and this could happen, and this could happen. Story events are usually actions taken by your hero or opponent. Okay, so exercise, right lah? Story events. Story events. These initial thoughts about story events are extremely valuable. Even if none of them ends up in the final story, write down each event in one sentence. The point here is that not to be detailed, but to get down into business, the basic idea of what happens in each event. You should write down a minimum of 5 story events. Okay? But 10 to 15 would be even better. Ooh. The more events you list, the easier it is to see the story and find the 7 steps. Order of the events. Put the story events in some rough order from beginning to end. Recognize that these will probably not be your final order, but what's more important is that to get a look at how the story might develop from beginning to end. So 7 steps. Study the story events and then identify the 7 story structure steps. Okay. Start by determining the self-revelation at the end of the story, then go back at the beginning and figure out your hero's need and desire. That's maybe one of the key points lah. So story events for this badminton story, right? Story events could be what I have in mind is that these two fella would come into contact. You see the gaze between the two of them, and they are like, I'm gonna beat you. I don't know what's your problem. Why you want to beat me? I want to beat you also. And then not just the two gaze on the players, but the two gaze on the coach as well. The relationship between the coach and the person, the guy that he's training. The coach going to the other coach place and talk to him. Like, hey, you shouldn't be teaching like this. Who are you to teach? Who are you to tell? You haven't even teach. That's like, you're so rusty already. Like, I'm the new blood. You're the old. Yeah, you're just an old man who doesn't know how to. You're already retired and whatnot. So, you don't know what's happening and stuff like that. I would say one of the story events also is like maybe. He was so happy at first, you sort of see like this person is like so happy with his life. He has everything. I think he's won so many trophies and he has this like really, really close relationship with this kid that he lost. And that whole scene where this kid was in an accident, he learned it in news, and when he had to go to the hospital to find that this kid has already passed away and it was too late to say goodbye. And that sort of crushed him, and you see him like being very like everywhere so messy, and he's just not really giving anything to anything anymore already. He's like everybody say hello to him, but he doesn't really recognize it. He's just like a bit rude to people, something like that lah, so yeah. Story events. But yeah, I think that's some of the things that you can think about. Okay. This technique of starting at the end and going back at the beginning is one we will use again and again as we figure out character, plot, and theme. It's one of the best techniques in fiction writing because it guarantees that your hero and your story are always heading towards the true end point of the structural journey, which is the self-revelation. So the self-revelation in this story with the badminton, right? He is like, I can teach again. I can have another son again. How do you create the need? How do you create the desire? How do you reach to that point? So So you find that weakness, right? The weakness is like maybe okay, to find a kid again means he has to lose a kid. So to lose a kid, what has caused him, So you have to like maybe go think about the end point where you want to reach, and then then only go towards the start of it. So psychological and moral self-revelation. When figuring out the self-revelation, try to give your hero both a psychological and moral revelation. So moral is like what's the need to teach another person again because they're just gonna die, something like that. Psychological is like maybe I'm just afraid of love again, something like that, or afraid of losing another person. So be specific about what your hero learns and be flexible and ready to change what you have written as you figure out the other 6 steps and as you continue through the entire writing process. Figuring out the 7 steps as well as many other parts of the story is much like doing a crossword puzzle. Some parts will come easily, others will with a great deal of difficulty. So use the parts that come easily to figure out the tough parts, and be willing to go back and change what you first wrote when later materials give you a new take on your story. So psychological and moral weakness and need. After figuring out the self-revelation, go back at the beginning of the story. Try to give your hero both a psychological and moral weakness and need. Remember the key difference. A psychological weakness or need affects just the hero. A moral weakness or needs affect others. So come up with not one but many weaknesses for your hero. This could be a serious flaw so deep and dangerous that they are ruining your hero's life and have the real possibility of doing so. So the problem, what is the problem or crisis your hero faces at the beginning of the story? Try to make it an outgrowth of your hero's weakness. Okay, desire. Be very specific when giving your hero a desire. Make sure your hero's goal is one that will lead him to the end of the story and force him to take a number of actions to accomplish it. Did y'all lose me? Because I lost it. Weakness and need, okay? So what is the problem? And what is the problem lah? What is the problem at the beginning of the story? And be very specific about your desire for your hero lah. I think that's the main thing lor. And the opponent. Create an opponent who wants the same goal as the hero, who is exceptionally good at attacking your hero's greatest weakness. So the opponent could be reaching the same goal, but it's just like stopping your protagonist to reach the goal lah. So you should create 100 of opponents for your hero. The question is, who's the best one? Start by going back to that crucial question. Okay, so you can create a lot. It's just like choosing one of the best ones, okay? What is the deepest conflict the hero and opponent are fighting about? I think about love lah, I feel. Right? About love. It's like, I want love, but you rejected it. When I needed you most, but you rejected it. Then now you just, go with someone that you just accept, and he might not even need it. Maybe you want your main opponent to just be obsessed with winning the goal as the hero. You want to give your opponent a special ability to attack your hero's greatest weakness, and to do so while he tries to win the goal. So the plan. Create a plan that requires a hero to take a number of actions, but also to adjust when the initial plan doesn't work. The plan generally shapes the rest of the story, so it must involve many steps. Otherwise, you will have a very short story. The plan must also be unique and complex enough that the hero will have to adjust when it fails. Okay? Battle. Come up with a battle and a new equilibrium. The battle should involve the hero and the main opponent, and it should be decided once and for all who wins the goal. Decided whether it will be a battle of action and violence or a battle of words. What kind of battle you choose, make sure it's an intense experience that puts your hero to the ultimate test. Let's look at the 7 steps breakdown from the single story, The Godfather, so that you can see what such a breakdown might look like for your own story. Okay, The Godfather, the hero, Michael Corleone. Weakness: Michael is young, inexperienced, untested, and overconfident. Psychological need. Michael must overcome his sense of superiority and self-righteousness. Moral need. He needs to avoid becoming ruthless like the other mafia bosses while still protecting his family. Problem. Rival gang members shoot Michael fathers, the head of the family whole. This desire. He wants to take revenge of the man who shot his father and thereby protect his family. Opponent. Michael's first opponent is Solozzo. However, his true opponent is the more powerful Bazzini, who is the hidden power behind Solozzo and wants to bring the entire Corleone family down. Michael and Bazzini compete over the survival of the Corleone family and who will control crime in New York. Plan. Michael's first plan is to kill Solozzo and his protector, the police captain. His second plan is to kill the head of the other families in a single strike. Battle. The final battle is the crosscut between Michael's appearance at his nephew's baptism and the killing of the head of the 5 mafia families. At the baptism, Michael says that he believes in God. Clemenza fires a shotgun into some man getting off at an elevator. More Green is shot in the eye. Michael, following the liturgy of the baptism, renounces Satan. Another gunman shots one of the heads of the family in a revolving door. Bazzini is shot. Tom sends Tenzio off to be murdered. Michael has Carlos strangled. Psychological self-revelation. There is none. Michael still believes that his sense of superiority and self-righteousness is justified. Moral self-revelation. There is none. Michael has become a ruthless killer. The writers used an advanced story structure technique by giving the moral self-revelation to the hero's wife, Kay, who sees what he has become as the door slams in her face. New equilibrium. Michael has killed his enemies and risen to the position of the Godfather, but morally he has fallen and become the devil. This man who once wanted nothing to do with violence and crime for his family is now its leader and will kill anyone who betrays him and gets in his way. The Godfather, quite interesting, huh? So that's the end of chapter 3. And now we are in chapter 4. Let's take a break. Oh my god. It's 1 hour already. My god. 1 hour. Let's take a break, guys. Let's stand up. 1 hour, we gotta, stand up, walk along a bit, drink some water. Don't always sit down. Exercise a bit. Come on, take a break. Anyone still here? Anyone is with me? Still with me on the live stream? Hello? Anyone? Anyone still here? $11. I don't know how long will I take with chapter 4. It looks like it's gonna be a long chapter, and I don't know whether I have the energy to go through chapter. Let's see. The next chapter after character is moral argument. Moral argument also quite long. That's like 50 pages or so. Then story world also quite long, Wow, story world even worse. Story world, I think that's one whole chapter, one whole live stream in itself. That's chapter 6. Story world, okay, get this, story world, Whoa. Whoa. Almost 80 pages, bro. 60, 70 pages lah. That's a lot. So, do you think I should continue? Or maybe we'll just stop it there for the day lah. Because character, I think, really need to You know what? I think I'm gonna stop there. I think character is like a whole new different topic, and I think we really need to take the time to actually think about character. I think because this one is really, there's so many like things about character that they talk about that we can explore more during the live stream, and I don't think I want to do it today because mainly it's not because I want to like, you know, rush things, but I think we really need to like take the time to actually figure out like what's the, you know, to really figure out like what we learned in terms of the key steps story structure just now. Like just now when we talk about, you know, oh, you need the weakness and need, desire, opponent, plan, battle, self-revelation. This is like a bit more in depth into the certain little things that you can focus on. So I feel like maybe we you know, just cut short on the live stream, you know, maybe not 2 hours so long. Maybe just cut it a little bit shorter, and just like maybe, you know, 1 to 1.5 hours on each chapter. I feel like that's a better way to go through the live stream instead of just capturing so many in just one live stream. I think it's just too much content and too much thing to think about. So I feel like I should just stop there today. Also, I think because I drink the milk, I need to go to the toilet. I think that's one of the reasons. I can feel it already. The stomach is not is making me like wanting to go to the toilet. So that's one of the reasons. I don't really have the patience to go through like everything, but while holding everything in. So I feel like I want to stop there. Okay, I think I'll stop there for today. Thank you, Mummy, for coming on the live stream today. Bibi, if you're there. Oh, you just joined Timothy. Okay. Can lah. Then let's go through character lah. I read the first 2 pages for you lah. I read the first two paragraphs for you so that you can listen lah. Okay. So character. This is chapter 4. Okay, chapter 4. Tootsie was a huge hit because its main character, played by Desmond. Okay lah. Maybe it's because I'm like you know, procrastinating and don't really want to read, so, you know, giving myself excuse to end the stream. Maybe that's the reason why. Oh, can ah. Oh, come guys, let me serenade you with my lovely voice, and just, some people might say it helps you to sleep as well, to give you serenity during this Tuesday night, late night session with Jen. Just now I was sort of taking this as a class, this is like a tuition free class of how to the anatomy of story. So it's a good way to actually try to make you to go to sleep as well, because it's like I'm reading you a bedtime story. So chapter 4, character. Tootsie was a huge hit because its main characters played by Dustin Hoffman, dressed as a woman, right? Wrong. What made the character funny and what made the entire story work was the web of characters that helped define the hero and allowed him to be funny. Look below the glossy surface of Dustin Hoffman in a dress, and you will see that each character in that story is a unique version of the hero's central moral problem, which is how men mistreat women. Okay, so most writers come at character all wrong. They start by listing all the traits of a hero, tell a story about him, and then somehow make him change at the end. So that won't work. No matter how hard you try, we're going to work through a different process that I think you will find much more useful. So these are the steps. So we'll begin not by focusing on your main character, but by looking at all your characters together as a part of an interconnected web. We'll distinguish them by comparing each to the others according to the story function and archetype. So next, we'll individualize each character based on a theme and opposition. Then we'll concentrate on the hero, building him step by step so that we'll end up with a multi-layered, complex person that the audience cares about. We'll create the opponent in detail, since this is the most important character after your hero, and in many ways is the key to defining your hero. So we'll end by working through the character techniques by building conflict over the course of the story. So I was talking about the whole story about this badminton coach, right? So maybe this character web is not just between the coach and the person that he's coaching lah, right? The young kid. So the characters that involves around him is the kid that he lost, and also maybe the other coach, the other kid that he neglected, maybe the parents as well, or maybe his friends. And yeah, I think those are sort of characters that we can create like a character web, interconnected web lah. So every other characters that we built around him, I think so the main character is the coach, not the kid that he trains. So the character web is around that person lah. Okay. So character web. The single biggest mistake writers make when creating characters is that they think of the hero and all the other characters as separate individuals. Their hero is alone in a vacuum, unconnected to others. Can't really think of a movie with this, but the result is not only a weak hero but also cardboard opponents and minor characters who are even weaker. I would say Captain Marvel. This great mistake is exacerbated in script writing because of the huge emphasis placed on the high concept premise. In these stories, the hero seems to be the only person who matters, but ironically, the intense spotlight on the hero, instead of defining him more clearly, only makes him seem like a one-note marketing tool. To create great characters, think of all the characters as part of a web in which each helps define the others. To put in another way, a character is often defined by who he is not. Okay, so the key point is, the most important step in creating your hero, as well as all the other characters, is to connect and compare each to the other. So you have to compare, like, okay, so like for me and the parents lah, okay? So say for example the parents of the badminton, like this whole badminton story, if the parents is like, why do you want to go through this? Why you want to train so hard? Or the coach is like why do I want to be coached by this person when I personally know like this coach is not really there, he's rusty, he lost a kid, or maybe like the coach on the other side, like I think that one I really need to think about it lah. But it's more like how to create a new different perspective lah. Okay, so each time you compare a character to your hero, you force yourself to distinguish the heroes in new ways. Okay, so you also start to see the secondary characters as a complete human beings, as complex and as valuable to your hero. As valuable as your hero. So all characters connect and define each other in 4 major ways: by story function, archetype, theme, and opposition. So many things, huh? Character also so many things, huh? Character web by function. Okay, so story function, archetype, theme, and opposition. How many more pages, huh? Wait, let me see, huh? See, this is me procrastinating when I'm reading. I always check again how many more pages to go. Hiya. Now I'm 58. Now have to go through 108. How many at the end? 420. Okay. But I'm almost there already. I just started only lah. Come on lah. Okay. Stop procrastinating. Let's read. Okay. Each character web by function in the story. Each character must serve the purpose of the story, which is found in the story's designing principle. See chapter 2 on premise. Forgot already. Okay. Every character has a specially designed role or function to play to help the story to fulfill that purpose. Theatre director Peter Brook, in speaking about actors, also makes a useful point for writers creating characters. Okay, he pointed out that every actor has to serve the action of the play. When the actor sees himself in relation to the wholeness of the play, he will see that not only is too much characterizing often opposed to... When the actor sees himself in relation to the wholeness of the play, he will see that not only is too much characterizing, like details, often opposed to the play's needs, but also that many unnecessary characteristics can actually work against him and make his appearance less striking. Even though the audience is most interested in how the hero has changed, you can't show them that change unless every other characters including the hero plays his assigned part on the team. Okay, let's look at the story function of the major kinds of characters in fiction. Hero. The most important character is the main character or hero. This is the person who has a central problem and who drives the action in an attempt to solve the problem. The most character is the main character. Okay, this is the person who has a central problem and who drives the action in an attempt to solve the problem. Okay, the hero decides to go after a goal, a desire, but possesses certain weaknesses and needs that help hold him back from success. All other characters in the story represents an opposition, an alliance with the hero, or some combination of the two. Indeed, the twists and turns of the story are largely on the product of the ebb and flow of opposition and friendship between the various characters and the hero. Okay, I get it now. So hero in the Hamlet story. Okay. Hero in the Hamlet. The opponent is the character who most wants to keep the hero from achieving his desire. The opponent should not merely be a block to the hero. That is mechanical. Remember, okay? The opponent should want the same thing as the hero. That means that the hero and the opponent must come into direct conflict throughout the story. Cannot just comes in a while, goes in a while. Yeah, you have to be direct conflict throughout the story. Often this doesn't come to be the case. That's why you must always look for the deepest conflict that your hero and opponent are fighting over. The relationship between the hero and the opponent is the single most important relationship in the story. In working out the struggle between these two characters, the larger issues and themes of the story unfold. By the way, don't think of the opponent as someone that the hero hates. He may be or he may not be. The opponent is simply the person on the other side. He can be a nicer person than the hero, more moral, or even the hero's lover or friend. So the main opponent in Hamlet is King Claudius, you know. The second opponent is Queen Gertrude lah. The third opponent is Polonius, the king advisor. So these are the examples lah. Alright, ally. The ally is the hero's helper. The ally also serves as a sounding board, allowing the audience to hear the values and the feelings of the lead character. Usually the ally goal is the same as the hero, but occasionally the ally has a goal of his own. Okay? Ally in Hamlet, Horatio. Fake ally opponent. Oh, this is where the drama comes. Fake ally. The fake ally opponent, right, is a character who appears to be the hero's friend, but actually is an opponent, the jealous ones. Having this character is one of the main ways you add power to the opposition and twist to the plot. Twist. The fake ally opponent is invariably one of the most complex and the most fascinating characters in a story because he is usually torn by a dilemma. While pretending to be an ally of the hero, the fake ally opponent comes to actually feel like an ally. So while working to defeat the hero, the fake ally opponent often ends up helping the hero wins. So the fake ally opponent in Hamlet, Ophelia, Rosencrantz, Guildenstern. I don't know whether you know your Hamlet, but I kind of forgot those characters, except Ophelia. Ophelia is the lover, right? Fake opponent. So that's the fake ally opponent. This is the fake opponent ally. So many things. Fake opponent ally. Okay, so wait. Let's think about the story that we had, right? Okay, so the whole thing about the badminton story. The hero is the coach. Opponent is the kid that he neglected. Ally is the kid that he's training now. The fake ally opponent is the parents. The fake opponent ally. So now fake opponent ally. This character appears to be fighting the hero, but is actually the hero's friend. Oh, the fake opponent ally is not as common in storytelling as the fake ally opponent because he is not as useful to the writer. Plot as we will see in chapter 8. Okay, chapter 8. Chapter 8, very long way to go, Okay. Comes from opposition, especially opposition that is hidden under the surface. An ally, even one who appears at first to be an opponent, cannot give you the conflict and surprises of an opponent. There is no fake opponent ally in Hamlet. Subplot character. Wow, subplot. Subplot character. The subplot character is one of the most misunderstood in fiction. Most writers think of this character as the lead in the second storyline. For example, as the love interest in a detective story, but that is not a true subplot character. The subplot character has a very precise function in a story, and again it involves the comparative method. The subplot is used to contrast how the hero and second character deal with the same problem in slightly different ways. Through comparison, the subplot character highlight traits and dilemmas of the main character. I need to reread again. So you see back when we were school, right? When we read like that nothing goes in one. we are just creating noise. La 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 la. So I have to reread again just to really understand what is subplot character. Okay, so the subplot character has a very precise function in the story, and again, it involves the comparative method. The subplot is used to contrast how the hero and a second character deal with the same problem in a slightly different way. Through comparison, the subplot character highlights traits and dilemmas of the main character. Let's look more closely at Hamlet to see how you might create a true subplot character. We might say that the Hamlet's problem, reduced to one line, is to take revenge on the man who killed his father. Similarly, Letty's problem is to take revenge on the man who kills his father. The contrast focuses on the fact that one killing is premeditated murder, and the other is impetuous, misguided mistake. So the subplot character is usually not the ally. The subplot character, like the ally and the opponent, provides an other opportunity to define the hero through comparison and advance the plot. The ally helps the hero to reach the main goal. The subplot character tracks a line parallel to the hero with a different result. Subplot character in Hamlet, Laertes, son of Polonius. So, in this badminton story, right, I think the subplot character is his past. So the past is like, okay, I train. No, maybe the subplot character is the other coach with the other the kid that he ignored. Right? Okay, so the whole story was like basically he had a past that this coach had trained this kid, but this kid didn't. This kid died because of an accident, and then the coach just didn't have the reason to train anybody else. He's in a very bad position, and now there's this young kid who wants to find a new coach, but find out that maybe they live next door or something like that. I don't know. My story is very much like Cobra Kai, and then found out that he has this badminton coach want to train, but don't want to train. So that kid maybe is the kid that went to another coach, and they were the opponents, and then right now he has a newfound belief that he wants to train out of some story events or something like that. Oh yeah, maybe talking to the parents of the kid who he had lost, paying respect. Then he found out that maybe it's not on him. It's not on him to change it's to go again. There is like some conversation going on between the parent and the coach, and he gets his motivation. He wants to train, and then now he finds this new kid who wants to train, and then they create this bond, this relationship, and the other kid that he neglected had another bond with another coach, and then they come to a badminton final or something like that, and then this kid won and stuff like that. So subplot character could be the coach and the kid Let's break down a couple of stories so that you can see how characters contrast through function. Okay, let me see what. The Silence of the Lamb. I don't know whether you saw the Silence of the Lamb or not, but American Beauty. Okay, there's two examples Okay, I'll read through the Silence of the Lambs if you know. This is a story about an FBI trainee named Clarice who is searching for a serial killer known as the Buffalo Bill. At the suggestion of her boss, Jack, she seeks the help of another serial killer already in prison, the infamous Hannibal, the Cannibal Lecter. He is initially hostile to her, but ends up giving her far better training than she received at the FBI. So, the hero is Clarice, main opponent Buffalo Bill, second opponent Dr. Chilton, the warden, fake ally opponent Nun, ally Jack, her boss at the FBI, fake opponent ally Hannibal Lecter, and subplot character Nun. Okay, kind of a little bit know about it. American Beauty. American Beauty is a comedy drama set in suburbia, so Lester's main opponent is within the family, with his wife, Carolyn, and his daughter, Jane, both of whom dislike him. He soon becomes infatuated with his daughter's friend, Angela, but because he's married and she's a teenager, she becomes another opponent. Living next door to Lester is the rigid and conservative Colonel Frank, who disapproves of Lester's lifestyle. Brad is Lester's co-worker who tries to fire him. After Lester blackmails his company into giving him a nice severance package, he begins to live life as he pleases and gains an ally in Ricky, the boy next door, who sells him pot. Ricky and his father Frank are also subplot characters. Lester's central problem is figuring out how to live a meaningful life, one where he can express his deepest desire within a highly conformist society that values appearance and money. Ricky responds to his deafening militaristic household by selling pot and spying on others with his video camera. Frank represses his homosexuality desires by asserting an iron discipline over himself and his family. Oh, okay. So hero Lester, main opponent Caroline, his wife, second opponent Jane, his daughter, third opponent Angela, Jane's pretty friend, fourth opponent Colonel Frank, fifth opponent Brad, ally Ricky, fake ally opponent none, fake opponent ally none, subplot characters Frank and Ricky. I don't know whether you get it or not lah, but basically there are so many different. This is character web by function lah. So you're creating a characters based on their function to the hero. So the character technique, two main characters. So character technique. How many technique are there? Multiple heroes and a narrative drive. Ooh. Do you want me to go on? Three viewers at the moment. Is that right? Wait, let me see where I can stop characters. But once I started on character, I should continue only. Right? I shouldn't stop. But there's so many pages there. So many pages. Yeah. There's so many pages. There's so many pages. What you do? I don't know. It's so many. Mommy, you wish so many pages. Read lah, Jan. Yo, reading so few pages already. You tired huh? But I'm reading. I need to speak out when I read. If I just read like that very fast, man. But you have to do your live stream, ma. You already started already, then go ahead lah. Can I stop? When you start already, you don't stop. Go ahead, finish it. Don't procrastinate any longer already. The more you procrastinate, the more longer the live stream is now. Okay, let's do this. Character technique. Two main characters. There are two popular genres or story forms that seems to have two main characters, the love story and the buddy picture. The buddy picture is actually a combination of three genres: action, love, and comedy. Let's see how the character web in these two forms actually works, based on the function that each character plays in the story. So, love stories. This could be interesting. Oh, okay. So love story or buddy picture lah. These are the two things that involves two main characters. So we are talking about function by characters, but it's just a technique. That means there is two main characters instead of one. So love story, having to create two equally well-defined characters, make certain requirements for the character web of your story. The love story. Good night. Bye bye. Having to create two equally well-defined characters makes certain requirements for the character web of your story. The love story is designed to show the audience the value of a community between two equals. The central concept of love story is quite profound. Love story says that a person does not become a true individual by being alone. A person becomes a unique and authentic individual only by entering into a community of two. So it is through the love of the other that each person grows and becomes his or her deepest self. Expressing this profound idea with the right character web is no easy matter. It's very difficult, you know. If you try to write a love story, all those people who are making all these short stories in Malaysia, read this. Expressing this profound idea with the right character is no easy matter. Don't simply go and create love story like as if it's very easy. If you try to write a love story with two main characters, you will have two spines, two desire lines, two tracks of the story is trying to write. Okay, so you have to make sure that one character is a little more central than the other. So you have to make sure that one character is a little more central than the other. You must detail the need of both characters at the beginning of the story. But you should give one of the characters the main desire line. Most writers give that line to the man, but because in our culture, the man is supposed to pursue the woman. But one of the best ways to set your love story apart is to give the woman the driving line. Interesting, huh? Some like movies like Moonstruck, Broadcast News, and Gone with the Wind. When you give one character the desire line, you automatically make him or her the more powerful character. In terms of story function, this means that the lover, the desired one, is actually the main opponent, not the second hero. You typically fill out the character web with one more outside opponent, such as family members who oppose the union, like Romeo and Juliet. You may also have other suitors for the hero or the lover, so that you can compare different versions of a desirable man or woman. So the Philadelphia story, the main opponent, the hero. I think all this you don't need to know lah. It's not like you know also. Okay, so buddy stories. Let's talk about buddy stories, right? So buddy stories, the strategy of using the buddy relationship as the foundation of the character web is as old as the story of Gilgamesh and his great friend Enkidu. Wow, Gilgamesh. That's quite an old story, huh? We see a more unequal but highly informative partnership with Don Quixote and Sancho Panza. The dreamer and the realist, the master and the servant. The buddy strategy allows you essentially to cut the hero into two parts, showing two different approaches to life and two sets of talents. These two characters are married into a team in such a way that the audience can see their differences, but also see how these differences actually help them work well together, so that the whole becomes greater than the sum of the parts. As in a love story, one of the buddies should be more central than the other. Usually it's the thinker, the schemer, the strategist of the two, because his character comes up with a plan and starts them off on the desire line. The buddy is a kind of a double of the hero, similar in important ways but also different. Structurally, the buddy is both the first opponent and the first ally of the hero. He is not the second hero. He keeps in mind that this first opposition between the two buddies is almost never serious or tragic. It usually takes in the form of good nature bickering. Usually you fill out the character web with at least one outsider, dangerous ongoing opponent. And because most buddy stories use a mythic journey, the buddies encounter a number of secondary opponents on the road. These characters are usually strangers to the buddies, and they are dispatched in quick succession. Each of these opponents should represent a negative aspect of society that hates the buddies or want them to break up. This technique is a great way of defining secondary characters quickly and distinguishing one from the other. It also helps broaden and deepen the buddy form because you define various aspects of the society in relation to the two leads. Do you guys get that? Any of that? Basically, it's like it's a formula lah, right? Like you have this buddy cop thing like Beverly Hills Cop or the Lethal Weapon. You have these two person. One is usually the more the main character is like the, but you flash out both of them by being together. But there is always an opponent lah. So one of the most important elements of a buddy web has to do with the fundamental conflict between the friends. There is a snag in the relationship that keeps interfering. This allows an ongoing opposition between the two, leads in a traveling story where most of the other opponents are strangers who quickly come and go. Aiyo. Character technique, multiple heroes and narrative drive. You know what? I am gonna stop at this function. Okay, I'm gonna stop at this function. The next one, then we continue with archetype lah. Okay, so there is 4 function. So we're only done with the first function. I'll continue with the rest lah. I think, yeah, seriously, I need some time to really digest, because some of this is like quite a lot to think about. Even the first like 7 structure already a lot to think about. I just wanted to, like, maybe to give a little bit of an idea of what the character actually is. So yeah, I'll just continue with one more technique when it comes to the function. Okay, and then we'll stop there lah, because I think it's almost also 2 hours already. So I think we'll just stop there. Okay, so one is the character techniques. One of the other character techniques. So we have the love story, and we have the 2 main characters. So 2 main characters, there is the love story and the buddy stories lah. Okay, and then now we have the multiple heroes and narrative drive. Okay. And the next one, the last one, is cutting extraneous character. So these are 1, 2, 3 character techniques. Actually 4. Yeah, 3. So right now we're just talking about the function lah, right? Character, creating a web of characters through function. And these can and there are a few techniques that you can use to implement this in this by function lah. So we talk about 2 main characters that are in love stories and also the buddy stories. So love story is that there are two characters that, and usually one is the one that has the desire more, and usually is the male, but you can always also give it to the woman as well. Whereas for buddies are usually like both of them like one of it is the opponent to each other, and you have another opponent which are usually outside of them. But it's the conflict between the 2 of them that is the most important elements of a buddy. Alright, so now in terms of character technique, multiple heroes and narrative drive. Although all the popular genres have a single main character, there are some non-genre stories that have multiple heroes like Avengers lah. You recall that in chapter 1 we talk about how story move, with the extreme opposites being linear action and simultaneous action. Having a number of heroes is the main way you can create a sense of simultaneous story movement instead of tracking the development of a character. So it really depends. See, I'm getting tired already. So something like Justice League, right? You have multiple heroes. then you can have like a few different storylines happening at once. It's not just that one character lah. So this is what it's trying to say. The story compares what many heroes are doing at about the same time. The risk is that you show so many characters at the same time that the story is no longer a story. It has no forward narrative drive. Even the most simultaneous story must have some linear quality, sequencing events in time or one or after another. To write a successful multi-hero story, you must put each main characters through all 7 steps. Like just now lah, weakness and need, desire, opponent, plan, battle, self-revelation, and new equilibrium. Otherwise, the character is not a main character. The audience has not seen him move through the minimal stages of development. Notice that having lots of heroes automatically reduces narrative drive. The more characters you must lay out in detail, the more you risk of having your story literally coming to a halt. There are some of the techniques you can use to add narrative drive to a multi-hero story. So there are a few things that you can improve on it. So have one character emerge over the course of the story as more central than the rest. So like the new Zack Snyder Justice League, right? I feel that the most central one is the robot guy. What's his name? Suddenly forgot. Give all the characters the same desire lines. All of them just want to become want to form the Justice League lah, to save the world. Make the hero of one storyline the opponent in another storyline. Batman, right? With Superman? Oh, Superman. Yeah, maybe Superman. Connect the characters by making all of them examples of a single subject or theme. To want to kill Darkseid? Use a cliffhanger at the end of one line to trigger a jump to another line. Yeah, this one is quite... funnel the characters from many locations into one. Yep. Reduce the time. For example, the story may take place over one day or one night. Show the same holiday or group event at least 3 times over the course of the story to indicate forward drive and change. Have characters occasionally meet by coincidence. Example of multi-hero stories that use one or more of these techniques: American Gravity, Hannah and her Sisters, LA Confidential, Pulp Fiction, The Canterbury Tales, La Road, Nashville, Crash, and The Smile of a Summer Night. These movies are just so old. I don't really know. And lastly, in terms of character techniques, cutting extraneous characters. Extraneous characters are one of the primary causes of episodic, inorganic stories. The first question you must ask yourself when creating any character is, does this character serve an important function in the overall story? If it doesn't, if he only provides texture or color, you should consider cutting him entirely. His limited value probably won't justify the time he takes up in the storyline. So, like Lord of the Rings, right? Peter Jackson just took up Tom Bombadil because it doesn't really serve anything. So that's why they cut him entirely. So that's that by function. I think I'll stop there. Oh, let's just finish. Let's just finish character web lah, okay? By archetype. I think after once with this, then next week we'll talk about how to create your heroes lah, okay? So just giving you like the sort of steps to create like all these character webs, right? So how do you create the hero? That will be the next thing, okay? Cool. Character web by archetype. A second way that characters connect and contrast in a story is through archetype. Archetypes are fundamentally psychological patterns within a person. They are roles a person may play in society, essential ways of interacting with others because they are basic to all human beings. They cross cultural boundaries and have universal appeal. Using archetype as a basis for your character can give them the appearance of weight very quickly. Because each type expresses a fundamental pattern that the audience recognizes, and this same pattern is reflected both within the character and through interaction in a larger society. An archetype resonate deeply with an audience and create very strong feelings in the response. But it is a blunt tool in the writer's repertoire. Unless you give the archetype detail, it can become a stereotype. Always make the archetype specific and individual to your unique character. Starting with psychologist Carl Jung, many writers have spoken about what different archetype mean and how they connect. For fiction writers, probably the key concept of an archetype is the notion of a shadow. The shadow is a negative tendency of the archetype, a psychological trap that a person can fall into when playing that role or living out that psychology. We need to translate each major archetype and its shadow into practical techniques that you can use in creating a story. This involves thinking of the various archetypes in terms of both the beneficial role and the probable weakness that each might have in a story. King or father, the strength leads his family or his people with wisdom, foresight, resolve so that they can succeed and grow. The inherent weakness can force his wife, children, or people to act according to a strict oppressive set of rules, can remove himself entirely from the emotional realm of his family and kingdom, and may insist that his family and people live solely for his pleasure and benefit. Example, King Arthur, Zeus, The Tempest, The Godfather, Rick in Casablanca, Aragorn and Sauron in The Lord of the Rings. Aragorn and Sauron in The Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that's a good example already. Queen or mother, Hamlet and Macbeth. Strength provides the care and protective shell within which the child or people can grow. Inherent weakness can be protective or controlling to the point of tyranny, or can use guilt and shame to hold the child close and guarantee her own comfort. Wise old man, wise old woman, mentor or teacher. So these are a few things lah, okay? Like king or father, queen or mother, wise old man, wise old woman. Strength passes on knowledge and wisdom so that people can live better lives and society can improve. Inherent weakness can force students to think a certain way or speak for the glory himself rather than the glory of his idea. So, example, Yoda in Star Wars, Gandalf and Saruman in The Lord of the Rings. Warrior, strength, the practical enforcer of what is right. Inherent weakness can live according to the harsh motto of kill or to be killed. May believe that wherever is weak must be destroyed, so become an enforcer of what is wrong. Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli in The Lord of the Rings. Luke Skywalker and Han Solo in Star Wars. Magician or shaman can make visible the deeper reality behind the senses and can balance and control the larger or hidden forces of a natural world. Inherent weakness can manipulate deeper reality to enslave others and destroy the natural order. The Harry Potter books. Gandalf and Saruman, yeah. So there is definitely strengths and weaknesses lah, right? You can think of ways that these characters based on their archetype, like a magician or a queen or a wise old man or a warrior or a king or father, so these are sort of like archetype, they call it. So you can create characters based on each archetype, and there are the good and the bad. There are strengths and weaknesses to each of these archetype that you can use it as a contrast to tell a better story, to use it as a way to create a new story based on that lah, a character webs as well. So the trickster is a lower form of magician archetype and is extremely popular in modern storytelling. Strength uses confidence, trickery as a way with words to get what he wants. Inherent weakness may become a complete liar who looks out only for himself. Loki, yeah. Hannibal Lecter, yeah. Beverly Hills Cop. I think Loki is quite a good example. Artist or clown. Strengths define excellence for a people or negatively show them what doesn't work. Show them beauty and a vision of the future, or what appears to be beautiful but in fact ugly or foolish. Inherent weakness can be the ultimate fascist, insisting on perfection. We create a special world where all can be controlled, or simply tears everything down so that nothing has value. Wow. Who is in this story? I don't really know. Verbal? Who is verbal in the user suspects? I don't know. Lover. Strength. Provides the care and understanding and sensuality that can make someone a complete and happy person. Inherent weakness. Can lose himself in the other or force the other to stand in his shadow. Rebel. Has the courage to stand out from the crowd and act against a system that is enslaving people. Inherent weakness. Often cannot or does not provide a better alternative, so ends up only destroying the system or the society. Prometheus. Loki. Yeah. Here is a simple but effective character web emphasizing contrasting archetype. Star Wars. Luke plus R2D2 and C3PO. So the prince, the warrior, and the magician. Han Solo was with Chewbacca, rebel and warrior. Darth Vader, king, warrior, magician. Princess Leia is the princess. So individualizing characters in the web. So once you have set your essential characters in opposition within the character web, the next step is to process. The next step in the process is to make these characters, functions, and archetype into real individuals. But again, you don't create these unique individuals separately out of the whole cloth, with all of them just happening to coexist within the same story. You create a unique hero, opponent, and minor characters by comparing them, but this time primarily through theme and opposition. We'll look at theme in detail in chapter 5, moral argument, but we need to look at a few of the key concepts of theme now. Theme is your view of the proper way to act in the world, expressed through your characters as they take action in the plot. Theme is not subject matter such as racism or freedom. Theme is your moral vision. So what is your moral vision? It's your view of how to live well or live badly, and it's unique for each story that you write. So the key point, you begin individuating your characters by finding the moral problem at the heart of the premise. You then play out the various possibilities of the moral problem in the body of the story. So I think this is very important to find out what is the moral vision, what is your view on how to live well and to live badly. So if I were to talk about the Badminton Story again, I guess the moral of the story is, the theme of the story is that you can, love is a process, or is a journey, right? You go through hard times, you go through bad times, but you still bounce back because love never fails. So something like that lah. Okay. So you play out these various possibilities through the opposition. Specifically, you create a group of opponents and allies who force the hero to deal with the central moral problem. And each opponent is a variation of the theme. Each deal with the same moral problem in a different way. Let's look at how to execute this crucial technique. Begin by writing down what you think is the central moral problem of your story. If you work through the techniques of the premise, you already know this. Compare your hero and other characters on these parameters. Weaknesses, like just now what we say lah, weaknesses, need, desire, values, power, status, and ability. How each faces the central moral problem of the story. So when making these comparisons, start with the most important relationship in any story, that between the hero and the main opponent. In many ways, this opponent is the key to creating the story, because not only is he the most effective way of defining the hero, but he also shows you the secrets of creating a great character web. After comparing the hero to the main opponent, compare the hero to the other opponents and then to the allies. Finally, compare the opponents and allies to one another. Wow. Remember that each character should show us a different approach to the hero's central moral problem, variation on the theme lah. So let's look at some examples to see how this technique works. Tootsie, okay? Tootsie is a wonderful story to start with because it shows you how to begin with a high concept premise and create a story organically. Tootsie is a classic example of what is known as a switch comedy. This is a premise technique in which the hero suddenly discovers he has somehow switched into being something or someone else. Hundreds of switch comedies have been written, going at least as far back as Mark Twain, who was a master of this technique. The vast majority of switch comedies fail miserably. That's because most writers don't know the great weakness of a high concept premise. It gives you only 2 or 3 scenes. The writers of Tootsie, however, know the craft of storytelling, especially how to create a strong character web and how to individuate each character by comparison. Like all high concept stories, Tootsie has 2 or 3 funny scenes at the switch when Dustin Hoffman's character, Michael, first dresses as a woman, reads for the part and triumphantly visits his agent at the restaurant. But the Tootsie writers do far more than create these 3 funny scenes. Working through the writing process, they start by giving Michael a central moral problem, which is how a man treats a woman. The hero's moral need is to learn how to act properly towards women, especially the woman he falls in love with. The writers then create a number of opponents, each a variation on how men treat women or how women allow themselves to be treated by men. I don't know, I find Tootsie is in a lot of this example. I think I need to go and watch Tootsie. I think Tootsie is maybe a good example, right? For example, Ron, the director, lies to Julie and cheats on her and then justify it by saying the truth would hurt Julie even more. Julie, the actress Michael falls for, is beautiful and talented but allows men, especially Ron, to abuse her and push her around. John, the actor who plays the doctor on the show, is a lecturer who takes advantage of his stardom and position on the show to force himself on actresses who work there. Sandy, Michael's friend, has such a low regard for herself that when he lies to her, abuses her and she apologizes for it. Les, Julie's father, falls in love with Michael, disguised as Dorothy, and treats her with the utmost respect while courting her with dancing and flowers. Rita, the producer, is a woman who has hidden her femininity and her concern for other women in order to gain a position of power. Michael, when disguised as Dorothy, helps the woman on the show and stand up to the man and get respect and love they deserve. But when Michael is dressed as a man, he comes on to every woman at a party, pretends to be interested in Sandy romantically, and schemes to get Julie away from Ron. Yeah, so these are so many. Yeah, it's by identifying all these like different characters lah, compare them and just like creating all these, and there is always a need, weaknesses and the desire, compare to from the hero to the characters, different approaches to the moral problem. Interesting. Dickens is a master storyteller famous for his character webs. One of his most instructive is Great Expectation, which in many ways is a more advanced web than most. The distinguished feature in the Great Expectations web is how Dickens set up double pairs of characters. This is the Great Expectation lah, Charles Dickens. Matchwit and Pip. Miss Havisham and Estella, each pair has fundamentally the same relationship, mentor to student, but the relationship differs in crucial way. Magwitch, the criminal in absentia, secretly gives Pip money and freedom but no sense of responsibility. At the opposite extreme, Miss Havisham iron control of Estella and her bitterness at what a man has done to turn her into a woman too cold to love. Vanity Fair. Thackeray called Vanity Fair a novel without a hero, by which he meant a heroic character worthy of emulation. All the characters are variants of predatory animals climbing over the backs of others for money, power and status. This makes the entire character web in Vanity Fair unique. Notice that Thackeray's choice of character web is one of the main ways he expresses his moral vision and makes his vision original. Within the web, the main contrast in characters is between Becky and Amelia. Each takes a radically different approach to how a woman finds a man. Amelia is immoral by being obtuse, while Becky is immoral by being a master schemer. Tom Jones. You can see the huge effect that the writer's choice of character web has on the hero in a story like Tom Jones. This picturesque comic novel has a large number of characters, such as a big social fabric means the story has a lot of simultaneous action with little specific depth. While this approach is applied to comedy, truth of character is found in seeing so many characters acting foolishly and badly. This includes the hero by making Tom a foolish innocent and basing the plot on misinformation about who Tom really is. Fielding is limited in how much self-revelation and character depth he can give to Tom. Tom still plays out as a central moral problem, having to do with fidelity to his great love, but he has only limited accountability. Okay, that's about it. We'll stop there for character. Next, we'll learn how to create the hero lah. Okay, we'll talk more about hero. Right now we just stop at just giving an idea about character web lah. You know, when you create a story, how do you create a web of characters? Just now we were talking a little bit about the 7 steps of creating a story. So it was just to a story is like you need to have the weakness and need, a desire, an opponent, a plan, a battle, self-revelation. So all this is very important, and also trying out to really figure out what are the story events in your story. So these are important in terms of how to create a structure into the story lah. So next is to create characters. So characters, what you need to do first is to realize that there are not just one hero, but there are also other characters as well. So you really need to learn how to like create a web of characters, and making sure that, and also depending on the story that you want to write, some has 2 main characters, like the love story or buddy stories. You have maybe a multi-hero story, but mainly it's just that one hero, right? So you'll need to so those are like sort of techniques that you can learn. But basically in terms of archetype also, there are a few different ways. So you can do it into two ways, right? You can do it into 2 ways. One is through archetype and one is by function. So by function is what are their roles and what are their sort of stories. Just comparing all the other side characters. How do they compare to the main character? And archetype, I think, is also the same thing, but it's based on maybe as a father, what a father usually does. There are 2 types of fathers. One is the good one is the bad one. So there is always like this archetype of characters that you can base your characters from. And just now when we're talking about individualizing characters in the web, it's mainly to it's mainly to like see how these characters address the moral story of your story, the moral of the story lah. So your theme, how each character actually works into this theme lah, so you show how all this character approaches the theme of the story, the moral of the story. So once you compare already, you start with the most important relationship, compare to the other opponents and the allies as well. So next is just to look on the heroes lah. So on these heroes, how do you create a hero so that you can create a better way of characters or something like that lah. So I think next stream we'll talk about this, finishing on the characters, and then we'll move on with moral argument. Yeah, so I think moral argument would be a good one to talk about, like the theme of it, like how like just now when we talk about the theme, right? Theme is quite important in the story. So talking about theme and characters, so this whole thing, I thought I could finish characters today, but I felt that there are so many different things that we can look into, and I feel that I need to cut it into 2 streams lah. I wanted to just like I just wanted to like stop at 1 hour, but already I'm in like 2 hours already. So basically this stream is just to just to give a little bit of you talk a little bit about characters and the character web, and then after that we'll focus more on creating the hero lah, right? So we'll continue on next stream, part 3. It's 12:30 already in Malaysia, 12:30, 2:30 in Australia. So yeah, I'll stop there. I'm getting a bit tired also. I want to go to the toilet. I say right just now I want to go to the toilet, but so yeah, I think I'll stop there for today. I'll start again on on part 3 next week, Tuesday. Every Tuesday I'll do the live stream around 9 something, 10, most likely 9 lah. If I have something to do then usually 10, but if not at 9. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I don't know who's watching, still watching, but yeah, I'll stop there for the day. Oh, hi BB, good night. And yeah, Donald Duck sets out, and now I'm gonna set in. Set into my bed. No, set into the toilet first, then only set into the bed. But what do y'all actually what do y'all think about me reading this book? Do y'all like it? Do y'all find it interesting? Do let me know, because so far I think right now it's getting more interesting with the structure, the creating characters, like things that I actually want to learn. Like it's in the back of my mind, like I want to know how they create such interesting stories, and it sort of gave me like a proof that hey, yeah, those the things that you are thinking of is actually real, and it's conceptualized in this book, and I find it very interesting lah. I don't know about you guys, whether you find it interesting or not, but for me, yes, very interesting indeed. But I think they just give a lot of examples that are quite outdated. And I don't really follow all those old movies, so I think those are exercises that and readings and also viewings for you guys to go and read. I'm still treating this as a class. I'm still your tutor, okay, for writing story class. So exam is coming out soon, so make sure you go and read about chapter 1 to chapter 4. Exam is coming, and definitely this whole writing story thing is gonna be in your PMR, SPM, UPSR, and even getting your diploma or degree or masters or PhD as well. This is very interesting. Every exam in your whole career, you'll be needing this. So yeah, free lessons from me. But I guess I won't talk anymore. I think I'll stop there. Actually, I wanted to try, right? What color do you think my background should be? So I was thinking, right? Should I go green? No. Yellow? Can you all see the difference? Very, very little only, right? Now it's purple. Now is red. It's not even red. I want it red. Yes, I wanted it red. Ah. Is it red, this color? What about blue? Oh, so blue. Purple? Nice, Turquoise? Can't really see. Green? Whoa, green. Not nice, huh? Yellow. Cannot see. Red lah. I like red. Yeah, this is the color. Hiya, just now what kind of color? Let's see how bright can it go. Whoa, so bright. This is the way, bro. This is the way, bro. This one nicer? Or this one nicer? It's the same. Flow mode. Huh? Apa ni? Oh, changing color. Nice, change color like that. Sorry, I'm just messing around. Flow mode, I think this is quite nice, right? Just changing color like that. But no lah, when I edit if I make an edit I don't think it's nice. Too distracting, right? Yeah. So just make one color lah. Focus on me, Focus on me, What is this? What is this? Oh. What about the bottom light? Bottom light can't really see. It's not really. I put pink. Okay, that's the bottom light down there. I put pink, but maybe I change to blue. No, yellow, red. No, can't really see. But pink lah. I'll just put pink. Color coordinate with the blue I have here. The blue I have here. Then there's the pink, and then that one at the back is the red lah. This one put. Yeah, like that. Cozy a bit. Was it too soft? A bit more lah. Okay, I think this is okay. I'll keep it like this. Or flow. No lah. Color lah. Color. Like that. Like that. Yes. I think this is nice. I like how it turns out. This black color thing, I don't know whether I don't know when I don't really want to take it out, but I think this is nice. It's a nice setup, right? How do you like my setup, guys? Do you like my setup? I have my favorite movie right here. I think what I need is a Liverpool poster here. At the back here. A Liverpool poster. A Liverpool poster indeed. Yes, indeed. And I find this like black color like a bit like, why is it there? What for? Don't know. Okay, I guess that's it. See you guys in the next video. Oh yeah, sorry I didn't make any video last week on the reacting video one, because I made a dancing video. So I just made a dancing video instead. The dancing video, yeah, it was funny. Felt really embarrassed to. I was like thinking twice whether to share or not, but end up I just shared. I was like thinking, oh my god, a 28-year-old guy is still doing all this thing. But hey, I just wanting to do it, so I did it. You know, nothing stopping me. So I'm still trying to find like an inspiration for the next dancing video, but not so soon. I can't dance anymore. I'm trying to like dance like Michael Jackson, but I can't really anymore. My whole dancing thing is like so totally changed from last time. Last time I like at least I can still dance and do like a lot of moves and all that kind of thing. But I think it's because I long time never dance, and everything sort of like kicks already. Kick. So, but hey, hope you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys like the dancing videos. Hope it made your day. Because when I made the take on me one, everybody like seemed to like say you know, you made my day and stuff like that. So I guess you know, hopefully it made your day. But I think I'll do one more. I'll do that. I'll do that video on the reacting thing lah. But I don't know whether I have time or not. And the funny thing is, my company didn't is not taking this Thursday as a public holiday, so I can't really. I don't have a public holiday this Thursday. I thought this Thursday I can do like a video or something like that, you know. But yeah, I see how lah. Maybe I have some free time. Maybe I can, you know, do it. But I'll see how it goes. I'll finish off the reacting video. Next month I haven't really thought of it. Okay. So the whole thing about this whole sorry lah if I'm taking a little bit of time just to talk to you guys, because I haven't been talking to you guys, and I'm just like, you know, it's been a week, so let me like talk a little bit. And I've been reading this damn book for like 2 hours. Just give me some time to talk lah. My channel, I can do whatever I want. Hey, yeah lah. Hey, what now? Hey. It's my channel. Let me talk. Okay, so yeah, so I was thinking next month, right? Oh, okay. So the whole idea, I feel lah right now, in each video, I'm trying to give like my review at the start, and then after that, talk what I want to talk, right? I don't know whether if that's a good format or not. I feel like in an ideal situation, I would make one video on just the movie itself and one video on, you know, reacting to that, to different things lah. So it's a different kind of thing. So in terms of the weekly schedule, there will be like 4 videos already. So you have this live stream, right? Reading the book. And I don't know, see how one of the days maybe like, you know, do the Lego thing. That's another project, right? Okay, so live stream got one, okay? And then there is the movie reviews. Okay, like 3 lah. So one is the making the Lego or the reading a book. Second is so that's the live stream lah, right? And then second is movie reviews and talking about the movie in detail. So that's another video already. And then third video is the just memes and reaction videos to funny videos, and doing like talking about all the topics like cut or jubilee videos, that kind of thing, you know. So that's 3 videos, you know. Now I'm trying out making 2 videos. It's already a challenge. And then now when I think of the whole plan lah, right? Like, you see, reading this book, you know, talking about plan also, So yeah, the plan is, I don't know, I would eventually go into making 3 videos a week. So that's the plan. I like doing live stream because it's so easy. I just need to like turn on. Ah yeah, one more thing. The fourth video, right, is gaming. So you have 2 live stream and 2 video. One live stream is to do like reading or making Legos. One is playing games. I wanted to do that, right? And then one is movie reviews, and one is on like the reaction videos. So I felt like this 4 videos in a week, bro. That's a lot of work, you know. I don't know how all these YouTubers do it. 4 videos. That's a lot of content. That's like full time already, bro. Full time already. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether if that's the direction I want for this YouTube thing to go. But I want to try. I want to try making like 4 videos. But I don't think it's anytime soon. I want to keep it at 2 videos first. Okay. That's the thing, you know, because 1 week 1 video, it's very it takes up a long time, and it's very hard for the channel to grow. And each week different things, right? It's like it's not niche enough already. It's very like segmented, because you're just like, say for example, if you're doing one video this week, then the next week is not the same. Then after that, after 1 month only, you're getting the same video, you know? So it's not very good in terms of if you want to grow the channel lah. So I feel like what I can do is that, yeah, in order to grow the channel organically, is to create more content. So that's basically how YouTube works lah. Is you have to be consistent, and you have to create more content so that people would stay to watch your content, and it has to be short, not like 1-2 hours, like nobody's gonna like watch it. So yeah, right now 2 videos I think it's workable, but usually the ones that needs an edit a lot takes up a lot of time, and I really need to work hard for that. And these reaction videos, right, it's like so hard to find the content. You have to like research, find out the story, then only react to it. So yeah, because I don't want it to seem like it's a chore. I don't want to seem like as if I need to work super hard for it, you know, this kind of thing. I just want to chill. I just want to make content so that I can spend time with people, with you guys, and so that, you know, it's a fun thing to do. And I don't know, I'm doing this like as if I'm doing for Twitch. Maybe I should just move the whole platform to Twitch, because Twitch is the same thing, but I'm just doing it on YouTube. I think mainly because maybe a lot of people is on YouTube and not on Twitch. Like I see my friend who is doing like this gaming channel, right? He only has like 1 or 2 viewers most of the time. And for me, it's like max or so is like 5, 6. So I feel like it's around there lah. So I just have to keep on doing it. And I gotta have a plan. I haven't even haven't even reached out to my Facebook friends or my Instagram friends that I'm doing this YouTube thing. Somehow or rather, you just have to market yourself out there. Somehow or rather, you just have to like show your videos so that people can come out to it. I guess that's how the industry works, right? You just have to show yourself out there. You just have to like put yourself out there and let people follow you, even though if it feels like it's not genuine. But I think it's not about whether is it genuine or not. I think it's more towards like, hey, if you want to reach out to more people, you have to just, you know, do the necessary and just reach out. And if it sticks, it sticks, you know. If it doesn't stick, then you're not really affected by it. It's just you've done the part to reach out to people. So yeah, I guess that's my thoughts for the moment for this YouTube. Next month, I don't really know what yet, but I want to go back to movies. Just spending 1 week talking about movies. Talking about more of the old movies, movies that I've liked, movies that are available on Netflix, and just talk about movies more lah. I think I've deviated a lot on trying out different content, and I feel the most passionate about movies lah. Although videos like reacting to funny dog and cats videos are quite interesting, but if I have the time and the energy to do one more video a week, then I can do a separate one. But I think I want to keep it consistent and keep it consistent and keep it the content like it's consistent, not just on the videos part but content wise. I feel like I just want to stick it with movies and TV shows or whatnot, and just keep it towards that rather than trying to deviate too much into other stuff. And because personally I just feel like I want to talk more on movies and focus more on those kind of content lah. So yeah, I guess next month I'll just go back to talking about movies and TV shows and more on those type of things lah. So maybe movies that I like, talking about movies that I like, TV shows that I like, recommending to people those shows that I like, or movies that I found very interesting, and just talk in detail, research. I think that's a better way to research as well, because at least I have something to based on, rather than go to the internet and search. It's like a whole chore kind of thing, and sometimes maybe this content doesn't really speak to me. But at least I know when I talk about movies, I know certain movies, like, oh hey, okay, I know this movie, I know the movies that I watch, or I know this sort of director, or this sort of storyline kind of thing, and talk more about it. And it may not be as interesting as reacting to or funny as reacting to cats and dogs, but I feel like it's a good thing to keep things consistent lah, and making sure that the content that you're putting out is consistent, so that you know who your target audience is, and you know who what are the things that you're actually you're basing this YouTube channel on about that. But yeah, I think it's so far, I think, after 4 months of doing YouTube consistently every week, starting from 1 video a week and then now 2 videos a week, I feel, yeah, I don't know, I just felt very automatic, like, oh, it's Tuesday, I gotta do a live stream. It's the weekend, oh, I gotta do a video this weekend. So I think it's good. At least I it's in the back of my mind that I need to make a video already. Personally, I like live stream more because it feels more natural. It feels it's much more chill, and I like live stream more lah. So live stream, maybe after this book I was thinking, to play games, but I'm not really sure whether how to do that. But yeah, play games lah maybe. I don't think I want to start on that Millennium Falcon anytime soon, cause I need to really find a way how to decorate it. I haven't really find a place to put if I make it lah. So maybe I can put it out there. Oh no, cannot. If I slam the wall, how? I slam the door, how? No, cannot. I don't know where to put. Maybe here? Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I guess that's the direction where I want to go for this YouTube channel. May onwards, and see how it goes. Reach out to more people, focus on the content that I want to talk about, which is movies and live stream. It's ever changing. I think one of the weeks I will pause on the book and actually talk about the Hari Raya acts. So I did one for Chinese New Year. I like doing that. So the next one I'll do on Hari Raya videos. That will be interesting. There's one or two that got banned because it was promoting gambling. So I don't know if I can find the video again or not, but I haven't watched it. So I haven't watched any of the Hari Raya ads. So yeah, it would be good to like watch it together. Maybe next week. So see how it goes. Because I think Hari Raya is on the 13th or 14th, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it will be good to talk to spend 1 week just to talk about Hari Raya. So I think not next week lah. So I'll do the following week, which is on 11. So the next week I'll continue on with chapter 3 and 4, and then the following week I'll do on the Hari Raya celebration thing, ads. So yeah, that's the plan for this YouTube channel. Hopefully I'll pray for more viewers, more subscribers, more watch time. But yeah lah, just hoping for more people to come in and join this channel. But yeah, all I can do is hope. I don't know. Now I'm saying like, okay, there is like 150 subscribers, right? Imagine if it's like 1,000, I'll be like so happy. Then after that, 10,000, 100,000. Wait, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 150, 200, 300, 500, 800, 1 million. Don't look so far lah. 150 also, I'm quite happy already. I don't know, like I don't really have many followers, even on Instagram, even on Twitter, or even on Facebook. Yeah, the most I have also is like 300 views. That's on Facebook. Not on YouTube. YouTube also, I think the most also is like 100 something, but that's about it. So yeah, hopefully this channel can grow, but I guess it takes time lah. Now it's just 4 months only, so I am just hoping. Anyway, I talk more than I should. I think I talk about half an hour already. But hey, it's my YouTube channel. I can talk however long I want. Okay, it's time to sleep. It's almost 1 o'clock. Good night, guys. See you guys in the next video. All right. Sweet dreams. And go to sleep. Tomorrow's a working day. Have a good holiday on Thursday. Those who have public holidays. And if I don't see you on the weekend, most likely I will. I'll talk to you in the weekend. Good night. See you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye.